WAAY 31's Will Robinson-Smith is live outside the federal courthouse in Decatur. He was with Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall tonight while the Supreme Court was making its decision to ultimately move forward with that execution. Will, what did he have to say about tonight's developments?
Well, the Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall said that he fully expected tonight's execution to move forward as it did at 9:01, despite the fact that the Supreme Court put that temporary stay on it. Now, Marshall was in Morgan County this evening to address church safety down in Somerville. Marshall said his remarks at that event would be brief so that he would continue to be able to oversee the process of making sure that the execution continued on schedule. And within the last 40 minutes or so, he issued a statement describing the execution as, quote, justice.
Tonight, justice has been served. Nathaniel Woods, one of two cop killers in the bloodiest day in Birmingham Police Department history, has met his just fate.
Now, over the last several days, this case has received national attention with advocacy groups like the Equal Justice Initiative and Martin Luther King III calling for a stay in the execution. They said there were issues with the appeals process since Woods' attorney dropped him as a client and didn't inform Woods. Now, Woods also argued in a court filing that he missed a crucial deadline because his attorney dropped him as a client. Supporters also point to a confession letter from Woods' convicted accomplice saying that the accomplice alone killed the police officers. Marshall told me tonight that how people are calling into question the court's ruling doesn't make sense.
The fact that folks think as a result of the fact that Nathaniel Woods was not the shooter, which was not anything that was alleged at trial, but instead had accomplice liability, which is a fundamental principle of criminal law, that somehow or another that's been an objection I've found very difficult to process as a prosecutor.
Now, according to the Alabama Department of Corrections, the lethal injection process began at 8:38 p.m. tonight. Nathaniel Woods, as we mentioned, was pronounced dead at 9:01. The Department of Corrections also said he had no final words. Reporting live in Decatur, Will Robinson-Smith, WAAY 31 News.
Thanks, Will. North Alabama's U.S. Congressman Mo Brooks took to Twitter with outrage after the stay was granted earlier this evening. Here's what he posted, calling the decision, quote, nonsense. He said Woods was found guilty by a jury of his peers. Brooks continued saying he sympathizes with the families of the three cops killed, not the killer.
Another congressman from Alabama, U.S. Senator Doug Jones, also made a statement on Twitter. He said he spoke with Governor Kay Ivey's office and expressed his concerns about the Woods case. He said in part, quote, a delay is warranted to provide time for a thorough review of all the facts and circumstances to truly ensure justice is done. Woods received support from civil rights activists, protesters, and celebrities across the country. Among those who called for his execution to be stopped was Martin Luther King III, reality TV star Kim Kardashian West, and O.J. Simpson.